Last week, I took a look at two of the best budget smartphones and compared them, the Honor 6X and the Moto G5 Plus. This week, I want to drop the budget even more, to $59.99 to be exact. I'm going to be comparing the Blu Advance 5.0, which I picked up on Amazon for around $60, and the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus for around $850. The Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus is my daily driver as of now, and I know it's obviously going to beat this phone in every single category, but I really just want to see how close the Blu Advance 5.0 can get for significantly less money. Let's start with the build. The Advance 5.0 has a solid build for the price. The back is a fake leather material which feels good enough in the hand and it's really grippable. The back panel also comes off and gives you access to 2 SIM card slots, a micro SD card slot, and a removable battery. The battery is only 1800 mAh, but it seems to last for about 3.5 hours of on-screen time on pretty heavy use. That's pretty mad battery life, but I'll give it a pass here as I'm able to carry an extra battery on hand with me and swap them out with ease. The S8 Plus, on the other hand, is a glass and metal sandwich, which feels amazing in the hand, but the back is sealed on. You still have access to a micro SD card slot, but the battery is not removable. The battery is, however, 3500 mAh, which equates to about 4.5 hours of screen on time for me. The S8 battery is almost double the capacity of the Advance 5.0, but that of course doesn't equate to double the amount of screen on time because the screen resolutions and sizes of the screens are radically different. The S8 Plus packs a 6.2-inch 1440p display, which is by far the best screen on the market in my opinion. Pixels are nearly impossible to spot, colors are super vibrant, and blacks are really deep. In total contrast, the Advance 5.0 has a 5-inch screen that is not HD resolution. For an extra $10, this phone comes in an HD model, but I was trying to keep things super budget here, so I have the non-HD model on hand. Colors are pretty good for the price, but pixels are really easy to spot, and the viewing angles are not great either. I think that it's a good screen considering the price of the phone, but don't expect to be blown away by it. Additionally, the bezels look huge when compared to the S8 Plus, which has about an 84% screen-to-body ratio. And since I have the white model here, the black bar surrounding the screen is a lot more noticeable than it is on my black S8 Plus. If you're getting this phone, I would highly recommend getting the black model, as that little black bar around the screen drove me crazy, and I bet it would drive some of you crazy as well. Going back to the build for a quick sec, the button placement on both of these devices is not ideal, but surprisingly, I think I like the Advance 5.0 better. The buttons feel extremely mushy and are pretty cheap, but they're nicely textured and they're easy to hit with one hand. I sometimes find myself hitting the volume down button as if it were the power button, so it would be nice to have a different texture on each set of buttons or to have the volume markers on the left side. Still, even with this flaw, it takes the cake over the S8 Plus. Here's why. The S8 Plus has a dedicated button to activate its personal assistant, Bixby, which doesn't bother me. However, the placement does. It is in the spot where I would normally put my finger to lower the volume, so I find myself accidentally opening up Bixby all the time. Turning on the phones leads to another major difference. Software. Software in the Blu Advance 5.0 looks pretty stock, but it is running the aging Android Lollipop. It works and looks fine, but all of the new cool features that are going to come with Android O, or even on Android Nougat right now, will not be found here. The S8 Plus, on the other hand, has Android Nougat, but it is pretty heavily skinned in terms of the aesthetics, and there definitely is some bloatware. Regardless, I will take this skinned version of Android over Lollipop any day of the week. The performance on the Advance 5.0 is a lot slower than the performance on the S8 Plus, but I think that has more to do with the specs than the software. The specs that the Blu Advance 5.0 packs are the following: a quad-core 1.3 GHz processor, 768 megabytes of RAM, and 4 GB of internal memory with expandability up to 64 GB with a micro SD card slot. The S8 Plus, on the other hand, has 64 GB of internal storage, a Snapdragon 835 processor, and 4 GB of RAM. These specs are obviously in a totally different class, but honestly, the Blu Advance 5.0 holds up. It is noticeably slower when opening up apps or gaming side by side, but when using it by itself, the phone is fine, and there were only a few times where apps crashed on me, or I got annoyed with how slow it was. Don't expect buttery smooth performance in graphically intensive games, but for daily things like web searching or texting, going through Twitter, stuff like that, this phone will get the job done. It's honestly really impressive for $60. The last topic to discuss here is the camera. The S8 Plus's camera is my favorite camera on the market to date, which means that the Blu Advance 5.0 has a lot to live up to. It's not a good camera by any means, but it is passable. Photos are never as sharp as I would like them to be, but it will work for shooting your food or taking a quick landscape. So overall, what did this comparison tell me? It told me that budget phones are getting really good and there has been a huge advancement in how good they are, in the past few years. It has me really excited for technology in the future that is awesome, but doesn't cost an arm and a leg. If you're looking to get into the smartphone game and you have a pretty small budget, this is my pick right here. But if you have about $200 more, the Moto G5 Plus and Honor 6X are infinitely better in terms of the experience that they provide, and I made a video comparing them last week on this channel. Regardless, I appreciate you guys all taking the time out to watch this video. Like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you loved it, and we hope to catch you guys in the next one. Bye!